Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Today I'm doing my May wrap up. I read 8 books in the month of May. I had a good reading month. I'm really excited to talk about some of these books, so let's get into it. The first book I read in the month of May was The Jewel Thief by Jeannie Mobley, and this is one of my new favorite books of all time. So it follows a girl named Juliet, and it's set in the 1600s in Paris, and at the beginning of the story, Juliet is being convicted of stealing the king's prized diamond, and this is her confession story, and it's just so unique how it's told. You get to see like her story through her eyes and see her confess to maybe these crimes that she did, what happened, and just basically telling her story. And the person she's telling her story to is actually like her ex-boyfriend, and so it's really cool to see how their relationship started, what broke it apart, and then maybe it'll form back together and just see what happens. So her dad is the crown jeweler, and so that's how she's close to the king, and so it's really cool just to see the different aspects that go into the diamonds. And also it's like based in some sort of truth because King Louis was like known as like the Sun King or something in Paris, and so we get to see kind of that background story, although this is a fiction story. It's really cool. I really love the characters. I really love Juliet, and like I said, it's so unique in how it's told as a confession story, and I really love the aspect about it. I absolutely couldn't put it down, and I really loved it and gave it 5 out of 5 stars. The next book I read was The Rest of the Story by Sarah Dessen. So this follows a girl named Emma Saylor whose mother died when she was young, so she doesn't remember much of her. She just knows that her mom was kind of troubled, and all she really remembers about her mom is that her mom grew up on this lake. So she grew up hearing lake stories. At the beginning of the story, her dad is getting remarried, and so Emma Saylor is supposed to stay with a friend while they go on a honeymoon, but those plans kind of fall through. So the only place she can go is to this lake that her mom grew up in, and she hasn't seen this family in probably over 10 years, and I just really loved it. I love Sarah Dessen. So if you don't know, she does write contemporary books with a little bit of romance, but they always have like hard-hitting topics in this one. And so for this, her mom was like an alcoholic and drug addict, and there is a death of a parent, although you don't see the death happen. Like the mom has already passed away like when this story begins, and it's been a while. But I just really love the story. I love lake stories so much. I don't know why. I hate going to lakes personally, but I love settings where they take place at a lake. This also has like a giant crazy family where everyone just walks into houses without knocking, and like there's like little bickering and just like little family traditions that happen, and I absolutely love stories with big families. That's another thing. So this one had like perfect setting and plot and everything. You got a big family, you got the lake, and you just got Sarah Dessen, and I really loved it. And I really loved how Emma Saylor found herself because of the lake. I will say her dad really made me mad in this story, but nonetheless I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. The next book I read was Monstrous Volume 1, The Awakening. Now this one is kind of difficult for me to explain. So basically it's set in an alternate world. There is a war going on between humans and arcanics, and arcanics are like, I think they're kind of like mutant type of creature things. Like we've seen so many different kinds. Some of them look like foxes, some have like one eye, like they're just wild. And so we follow a girl named Maka Halfwolf, and she's a teenage survivor of the war. And I'm pretty sure she's like half human, half arcanic, something like that. It's kind of wild. I don't really know how to explain it. I don't really understand it completely, and that's one of the downfalls to this. I really wish there was more world building so I understood it better, but I really loved the art style. It was really cool and fascinating. I loved little Kippa. Let me show you. She's right here. She's the one that's like a fox girl. I don't really know the deal, but I love her. She's so cute. But yes, I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars, and I'm really interested to see how the story continues and hopefully get more acquainted with the world. The next book I read was Ruthless Gods by Emily A. Duncan. This is the sequel to Wicked Saints, which I read last month, and if you saw my wrap up last month, you know that I finished Wicked Saints and was like, I need to continue right away. So luckily Katie sent me this arc and I was able to read it. Unfortunately, I really did not like this. I thought it was so incredibly boring. This is a big book and it is way too long, like way too long, and I honestly can't tell you a single thing that happened in this. I don't really know what happened. I just don't know. The main character, Nadia, I really kind of hate her now. She is so annoying and super naive, and like the guy that she's into is like kind of manipulative and abusive, and like he hurts her, and if she does the same thing to him, she's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I did that. Like, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. And I'm just like, dude, he's done so much worse to you. Like, get over it. If you don't know, I don't even know how to explain this series. So it is set in this world where there's kind of like a civil war between two groups of people, and one of them are blood mages and the other like worship a bunch of gods. And we follow this girl Nadia, who is a cleric, so she can like talk to the gods and use their powers. That's all I can really explain. I kind of like forgot everything about this because I have no idea what happened in here, so I gave it 2 out of 5 stars. Yeah. Next book I read was The Lost Causes of Bleak Creek by Rhett McLaughlin and Link Neal. If you don't know, Rhett and Link are from Good Mythical Morning, one of my favorite YouTube channels, so I was really excited to pick this up. So this is kind of based on themselves. Like, the main characters are named Rex and Leaf, and Rhett and Link are from Bowie's Creek, and this is Bleak Creek. So in this book, we follow Rex and Leaf, and they are making a home movie with their best friend Alicia. Something goes wrong, Alicia gets in trouble, and she is sent to this kind of spooky boarding school that's in their town that not really is known about. Like, there's all this mysterious circumstances, like mysterious deaths that happen at the school, so Rex and Leaf want to get to the bottom of it and try to break Alicia out. So there's kind of like some spooky vibes going on. It's set in the 90s, I believe. 80s or 90s? 1992, yes, so that's a fun aspect as well because it's in the 90s. I just like small town stories as well. But yeah, it was fun. There are definitely some weird things in here, which is to be expected if you know Rhett and Link. So if you don't watch their channel and you read this, you probably won't like it as much, but I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. The next book I read was one of my most anticipated of probably the decade, and that is The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes by Suzanne Collins. I wanted to film a vlog for this, but I didn't because I didn't want to like be distracted by anything else. I just wanted to sit down and read it and enjoy it, and enjoy it I did. I absolutely loved this. So this is Snow's story. It's set decades before the first Hunger Games. It's actually set during the 10th Hunger Games, and I absolutely loved it. I feel like if you're not as huge a fan of the series, then you will find this really boring because it is very slow, but I will like devour any detail of Panem of the Hunger Games I can get, any historical fact about the Hunger Games, how it started, anything in this world, and I will get it. Like, we could follow the view like of a Mockingjay and I would be like, let's go. Like, I am so ready. But yes, I absolutely loved it. And unpopular opinion, I really loved Snow. Like, a lot of people hated him. And some of course were mad that it was his point of view, but in this story I really loved him. I thought he was a really unique and interesting character, and it was kind of cool to see his rise to power and how he kind of becomes psychotic. So I really liked him. It was so cool to see all the connections to why he hates Katniss so much. Oh my gosh, this is so good. I absolutely loved it, and I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. The next book I read was Happiness Volume 3 by Shuzo Oshimi. Since this is the 3rd volume in this manga series, there's not much to say, especially because like mangas go by so quickly. This series is about vampires, and I really love it, and I gave this one 5 out of 5 stars yet again. I really love the art style in here, and the vampire lore is really cool as well. And the last book I read in the month of May was Day 21 by Cass Morgan. This is book 2 in the 100 series. If you don't know, this is a science fiction novel where everyone lives up in space because a nuclear war happened on Earth, and it's been centuries since that happened, and so they sent 100 criminals down to Earth to see if it's livable again. And they realized that there's some mysteries to Earth that nobody knew about. I really love the series. Like, it's fun to read, but it's not anything like super spectacular. The main ship in here that everyone talks about from the TV show is Bellarke, Bellamy, and Clark, but I don't ship them. I prefer Clark and Wells together. I don't know if that's gonna change. We'll see if that changes, but a lot of people make me really mad in here because they get mad at everybody without actually listening to people. Like, there's always miscommunication. Something happens, they get mad and just walk off without listening, and then they make up, and I'm just like, dude, we could have avoided all of this. I also predicted absolutely everything that happened in this book, but I'm one of those people that doesn't mind predicting things, so that doesn't really bother me, but I still give it 4 out of 5 stars. So these are all the books that I read in the month of May. Let me know your favorite book that you read this month, but that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. As always, all my social media links will be down below, and I'll see you next time. Bye!